What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good out here. I'm not um, endorsing Sutter Home, but I fuck with them. So when I blow up, I might go ahead and do that cheap shit. So this is Chardonnay. Hope y'all doing good out there. I want to make sure I'm focused on y'all because this right here is a story about my first jobs in Atlanta, and I quit a lot of fucking jobs. I'm not the type who quits a lot of jobs. At least once upon a time I wasn't. But these days, especially when I moved to Atlanta, things happen. So I'm gonna tell y'all about that. I think I went on to talk about how I came to Atlanta, the way I came to Atlanta, what I was going through before then, and all that good stuff. So now, um, and I believe I told y'all actually also what stemmed my homelessness as well, as far as that lady, that realtor lady that I threatened after she tried to steal my money of $800, and a guy named Vic, who's not my close homie Vic, but he's another Vic that pulled some fuck shit as well, lied to basically kick me out when he could have just kicked me out the real way. But anyway, so I'm gonna be drinking a little bit. It is what it is. So once again, I appreciate y'all for watching. So I went homeless, but before I went homeless, around the time where I was with the realtor lady that I didn't know was a realtor that tried to take my money, the whole time I was doing that with her, staying in the room, um, I worked at Chipotle. And I believe I told y'all a little bit about this, but the process of me getting my Chipotle job was I just needed some income. And all this driving in Atlanta with a truck, I didn't realize how much gas I was burning. Excuse me. So I got my Chipotle job. I lied my ass off in that interview. I hadn't had a food job, retail job in years at this point. This was 2018, around like July, something like that. June, July-ish. So I lied. I wanted whatever the highest paying job was. At the time, that was $11 an hour, maybe $11.50. I was gonna get paid more than everybody else. So what he was gonna do is a gay dude in Midtown. I believe it's like Howell Mill Road or something like that. And what was going on was they was finna build a new store. And this gay dude who didn't even work at that store, he worked at the new store. He's about to work at the new store. He was training people basically. Super gay, but super cool too. White dude. I'm talking, I ain't never seen a dude so gay in my life, bro. He legitimately thought he was a woman in a way. But he was super fucking cool, bro. Dumb cool, bro. Like I was not used to that being from Mississippi. We have gay people in Mississippi. There's gay people everywhere, but I ain't never seen somebody like so feminine but so fucking cool, like would have your fucking back. So I can't remember his name for shit, but he a good dude. But I lied to him. I said, yeah, man, I've done this, that with food. I told him I'll do prep. $11.50 an hour. So time comes and they put me on day shift for like a week or two. My experience with this job was a little bit different from my other jobs. It was very niggerish, if we're just gonna say it, straight up. It was very niggerish. I I was born in the hood, partly raised in the hood, but also spent a lot of my time in the suburbs too. On top of that, I had never had a job until I was 21, and um and then I left to go to college, and then I had another job and stuff like that. So my job experience was kind of like I was a little late bloomer in the job world, and I never had a job. I had jobs that were niggers, but not like this. I ain't never experienced jobs where people would just leave during the work shift while there's customers in line, like a dumb line, to go to the back to hit a blunt. Like I ain't like 3, 4, 5 people, including the manager type shit. I'm just there to train. They're there to train me. So I'm not going to actually work with these people at the end of the day, but I got to work with them now. So, but anyway, that didn't happen yet. I was doing day shift. Everything was kind of cool. It was kind of hard for me because I worked at a call center for so long, so I hadn't been on my feet in a long time. And I also hadn't used my hands as far as like knife work and stuff like that. So my hands was killing me, like cutting up avocados, making guacamole, salads, all that good stuff. Like prep is kind of hard if you really just don't have like, if you're not used to it. And I hadn't done it for a very, very long time on purpose. So you had to be really fast. And the whole thing about him hiring me was I was the fastest person out there. I wasn't, but I made it look like I was. But Lord knows I was in pain. Every day my wrist was hurting, my fingers was hurting, my feet was hurting. I was also homeless, so I was sleeping in my truck. It was wild for me. So Chipotle has a way of doing things. Everything has to be fresh. You have to clean things a certain way. You have to memorize certain things. It's very, 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 very tedious. And it's really hard to be fast when you have to do so much cleaning for like cleaning salad leaves and cleaning guacamole and cleaning all that shit. So, but I was making it. I was getting trained. I was making it and all that. So now it was time for me to be on a night shift. I didn't want to do night shift, but I'm homeless. So who gives a fuck? These niggas didn't know I was homeless, but I was. So, and keep in mind, this is also the Chipotle that had got shut down because that Chipotle had like some type of, I think there was some like, they had like dog food, like a dog food situation, and like got shut down and finally got back in business or some shit like that. So it was wild, to me. And, so I went to night shift, and night shift was full of kids. My first job was at Nuke's Eatery. And I worked with a lot of kids then, and I was a dishwasher. And one thing I hate about working with kids, like high schoolers and stuff, is they don't care about their job. And I'm not asking them to care about their job no more than I do, but don't make my life harder than it's got to be. So, so basically, I already knew what I was doing by this point. I had a certain job to do because I was still learning certain things. So everything I learned, I didn't have to do. But the problem was my gay manager, he wasn't there at night. So pretty much all the niggas ran the shit. So I be getting pissed off because people be going, like I said, be hitting a blunt. They don't even tell you, bro. Niggas just disappear and don't even tell you they finna hit a blunt. I'm like, yo, and I smoked too at the time. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not tripping on y'all smoking, but let a nigga know, like, I'm new up here. Them niggas didn't give a fuck. I was working on a lot of 16, 17, and 18-year-olds in Atlanta. So like I said, I had this certain job to do, certain things to do, and the little kid I was working with that was like 16 at the time, he kept trying to get me to do whatever he wanted to do to make his job easier. And I wasn't doing that shit. I was like, all right, and then I just wouldn't do it because I'm not. And plus at the time I was like 20, like was that 5 years ago? So like I was 27. I'm not finna take not from no kid unless like I'm specifically told to do from my manager. So he kept trying to make me do stuff to make his job easier so he didn't have to do shit. He can just hit blunts and stuff like that. Keep in mind, I'm also having to train somebody else too. So he's kind of like, he's supposed to kind of guide me, but I already know what I'm doing because I've been here for like three weeks. I got to train a girl who don't know nothing that she's doing. Like everything I learned, I got to teach her. So, but if I'm doing stuff that he's telling me to do, she ain't learning shit. And when it comes to working, maybe it's a flaw of mine, but I try to do my best. Whether it's a job or whether it's my own business, I do try to do my best when I'm actively on a job. So I think they sent the girl home or something like that. This was like a few days into that night shift. And like the kid was just talking shit. Like, hey, man, I told you to do this, man. Why you ain't doing it? Hey, man, I told you to do it. I'm thinking to myself, who the fuck you talking to? So I'm about had it at this point. I've been there for 3 weeks, close to a month, whatever the case is, man. I got to deal with a manager that won't tell us our schedule, black woman. I got to deal with a kid that I'm working with. I got to deal with some kids up front. I'm fucking hurting. I'm homeless. I ain't got no rent to pay. So at this time, I was like, I'm finna fucking quit. So I went on my break. Because you get breaks. And you get to eat for free. So I'm homeless. And the thing about me being homeless was it was hard for me to make money anyway. I had to work 3 weeks at Chipotle just to get a check. So I hadn't got a check this whole time at Chipotle. I got hired on a paycheck week. So I got to work 3 weeks before I actually get my first check. without a check, you got no money. So having food was hard, especially when you getting off at like 11, 12 at night. Ain't really many places open. Plus, I was sleeping in a parking lot by a hotel. And what I would do is I would get off work because I'm stinking. I would get off work. I had like water bottles, and I would have soap and like a face towel, and I'll get water bottles and like take like a bird bath, but it's like outside in a hotel parking lot by some trees. And when you do it, there's going to be like mosquitoes and shit too. So you got to handle that real quick. Use some more water bottles. So I would grab like 3 water bottles to kind of like get stuff wet with soap and everything, put all the soap on me. And then I would hop back in the vehicle to make sure ain't nobody looking at me. And then I'll hop back out and use the water bottles and pour them on me. Shit was cold, but it is what it is. I was not finna be dirty. Plus it's hot outside in Georgia. So fuck all that shit. It's 100 degrees at night. Nigga, you gonna be sweating. So you better wash yourself. So essentially, I'm using like 6 to 8 water bottles just to clean. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I took a break. I was pissed the fuck off. And I told myself, yeah, I'm going to quit. But I told myself, get some food first. So I got some food. I doubled up. I took some food with me to go. I put it in my truck. And then I ate some food. I don't really like Chipotle like that. It tastes good when you first start biting into it. And then something about the taste just kind of like, you ever wanted something so bad when you saw a commercial and you ate it, it just wasn't the same? It was kind of like that. So I ate my Chipotle, put the other stuff in the truck, and I walked back in, and the dude's still talking shit. Where was you at? I ain't tell nobody I went on break, just like they don't tell me like they finna hit a blunt. I ain't tell y'all I was on break. So he was like, where the fuck was you at, man? You supposed to do this, and this. I told that man, shut the fuck up. I was loud as fuck, too. I said, man, shut the fuck up talking to me, motherfucker, so I'll whoop your motherfucking ass. I have a little bit of an anger problem. Not that I get mad quick. I don't get mad at all. Rarely. But you can guarantee one time every year. 2 special. But you can guarantee one time every year that I'm going to fucking lose it. And I grabbed like this fucking metal rod. It was a metal rod with like a turn thing on there. And I think we used it to like turn the salads to like clean it. I think that's what it was used for. So I grabbed that bitch when I told him to shut the fuck up before I whooped his ass. That nigga apologized. Oh, no, he didn't apologize. So he just shut the fuck up. He just shut the fuck up after that. So then I put that shit down. I took my apron off. The manager lady was coming out. I guess she must have heard something. I took my apron off. I took my shirt off. I threw it on the counter and said I quit in the middle of the shift. And then I'm walking out. Now, this lady that saw me, black lady, ghetto as fuck. She don't do shit. She don't do her job. But she don't do her job at all, if I'm just going to be honest with you. But she likes to act like she's doing her job, especially when they gay dudes around. They're used to running this thing any type of way they want to. I see why they got shut down. So I said that shit, I quit. Me quitting is like the end of the world because I'm the most important person there because they hired me because I think what was going on, the gay dude was going to do this. He was going to train me on prep. He was going to train me as a cook. He was going to train me on everything fast as he could and make me a manager. That was his goal. I sold a dream to him. I'm not finna be no fucking manager, no food spot, nigga. I got an engineering degree, IT experience, nigga. I'm not finna, nigga, I'm rap, nigga. What the fuck? I ain't coming to Atlanta for this shit, but I do need a check. So he was, in his mind, he was going to build me up to be, this guy was going to make $20 an hour as a manager or whatever. And so when I said I quit, I stormed out. I didn't really storm out. I just walked out. I was tired, bro. And when she chased behind me, that's what I don't like. Don't chase behind me. I went to my truck, and she's like, "Nah, man, don't quit. This, that, and other." Because she got to explain this shit. Nah, don't quit. She's begging me. She was a hard ass, before, but now that I'm finna quit, I don't know if her job was on the line, but in her mind, her job was on the line. So I went to my truck, like I said, and when she was begging me, I just lost it. I said, "You see this truck? You see this fucking truck?" And I made her look at it. My truck had like, you could see from the outside clothes and stuff. Like, it looked like somebody was moving. Like, my truck had more clothes and food in it, just bread and, jelly and shit, that you can see on the dash, behind my seats, all of that. To the point where when I pull up, people are like, hey, man, what you got going on? Oh, man, I'm just moving. I tell everybody I'm in the process of moving. So I said, look at that shit. I'm fucking homeless, man. I got time to deal with this shit. I ain't finna fucking listen to no 16-year-old. All y'all motherfuckers don't do no goddamn work. And I be fucking tired, bro. I don't know what the fuck I said. I just snapped, bro. And I said it loud and fast. And she just begged me to come back. And I said, nah, fuck y'all. I'm done. And I left. 30 seconds away from Chipotle because my hotel parking lot situation was 2 streets down. So they're thinking I'm like sped off to somewhere else on some homeless shit to where I'm really in sight's view of Chipotle. But I got some food, so I ain't tripping on that. So I quit. And when I quit Chipotle, that's kind of like when the ball rolling of the whole realtor lady where I threatened her to give me my money because I'm still waiting on my Chipotle check. And when Vic lied to me and said that his parents' pipes busted in his house, so I can't stay there no more, instead of being a real nigga and just kicking me out and not waiting for me to spend a bunch of money on food, but whatever. So that was my first job. My second job, motherfucking Walmart. What these niggas did not know was I already applied for Walmart 2 weeks into my job at Chipotle, motherfucker. So I was thinking in my brain, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I can fucking quit. I got a job on the way. So the problem with this job was it was pretty far. Where was this job at? I think it was in Roswell. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was in Roswell. Drink break. Roswell, Georgia. I quit my job to work at Walmart in Roswell. Shout out to them, man. When I hear Walmart shootings, it really fooled me. Because, well, for me personally, my job was, I chose I don't know what it's called. But when people, I think it's like produce or something. But it's like in the back. So basically, I'm in this cold ass area. I hate being in the cold. Where like the trucks pull in the food and all the produce. The trucks pull in, you put the produce on fucking carts or whatever the fuck, stock it up in the back. Then you gotta look at other produce that's already been there and make sure the shit ain't go bad. Excuse me. You gotta filter through, shit like old bell peppers and shit like that. And the whole time I'm like, I could have brought a hoodie or something. I don't think I had one because all my shit molded, being homeless, shoes and all that. So, that was hard for me too because you stood up longer doing that. You stood up on your feet longer doing that than I did at Chipotle, and I really didn't understand the job, to be honest with you. I know it sounds easy when I say you in the back messing with produce, throwing old stuff away, but it wasn't that simple. Because the direction we got wasn't simple. Like people was moving stuff from one place to another. They didn't tell you how you had to do it, which ones to bring, any of that. They wouldn't tell you if it was right doing something, wrong doing something. Bro, Walmart is just full of people doing shit. It took me a while to realize don't nobody know what the fuck going on at Walmart, bro. If you ask people for help at Walmart, they don't know what the fuck going on. And I see, bro, you can only get it if you work there. So you're really just collecting a check, trying. And what most people do is they do their job for 30 minutes and then they go to the break room. Walmart got some dope ass shit going on, bro. You could take your break for 15 minutes and if somebody asks you a question as you walking out to your car, you answer that question and then you get to reset your 15 minutes. So I'm taking 45-minute breaks just for the fuck of it. Lunch is long as fuck and all that. But my ankles was fucking hurting, bro. So I couldn't do that shit for long. So I made up some shit about my son. I said my son was sick. I ain't got no fucking kids. I don't like lying on family, so I lie on my imaginary kids and stuff. So I told my son was sick. I sent that through a text message. Little did they know I had another job waiting on me, so I quit that one. Walmart pays you every week. I only worked there for 1 week. I couldn't keep doing it. I don't know what it was about Walmart. Maybe it was the walking, but my ankles wasn't having it. And like I said, I haven't worked in the food industry in a long time. I got so pacified once I left Nukes after like 2-3 years, and they didn't give us breaks back then. I was built for it in 2013, 2012, 2014, that kind of area, but I wasn't built for it after that. So I quit. The white dude I was working with, who was cool, he was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry for your son, man." I ain't text that dude back, bro. So I had another job waiting on me. Home Depot. Home motherfucking Depot. And this job right here was an IT job. For some reason, I couldn't land an engineering interview to save my life. I have an electrical engineering degree, graduated in December 2017, and nobody gave from August of 2017 to today. I couldn't land an interview, period. Maybe I should say before COVID, because COVID, people were desperate. But I don't like desperate people. I don't want you to want me just because you don't have nobody. I want you to want me because you want me. Maybe that's pride. Maybe I'm stupid, but that's just how I think. So I'm at a Home Depot interview. This white lady who white dudes would probably say is fine as hell. I'm not really into skinny white girls, but she was a blonde head, pretty white girl. She interviewed me. She said, "Well, you got an engineering degree. You're really overqualified. We're worried that you'll quit, blah, 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 blah." In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I probably will quit, but I lied to her. So I'm doing that. Home Depot, man. Home motherfucking Depot. What the important part about me working at Home Depot is that's where I met this girl that I was dating, that I started dating. I won't get into that story because that's a story alone. That's another story within itself. So this Home Depot is where I'm gonna leave it at. So I ended up getting hired, and it was like 4 or 5 of us in training. This was in Marietta. It's like a campus. The thing I liked about this job was this job right here. It had a gym. Like I said, it's a campus. Several buildings. It had a gym, shower, and a cafeteria, and a bunch of departments that I probably could be engineering in. But the problem with me with my degree is Home Depot doesn't want to just hire you as an engineer. They want you to get hired as a basic level somebody, and then they want to promote you if you have a degree in something. Technically, that means if they think you're good at something, they're just going to promote you anyway. You don't need a degree. That's why I kept learning that degrees are really not even that valuable, unfortunately. So even for engineering. So I was stoked, bro, because I was still homeless. This was like I said, I moved to Atlanta like end of June. That's when I got my job at Chipotle. I got this job like the end of July. Like the end of July, maybe the first week of August, almost August. And we had training, and we were supposed to get paid every week. So the first week, you get a paper check. Remember I told you, Vic kicked me out of his home and lied. So I couldn't snap on him or fuck him up like I wanted to for lying and make me buy all that frozen food that he knew I couldn't take with me if I'm homeless. So, because I was pissed about that. So I had to basically say, "Hey, can I use your address still?" I had to grit my teeth saying that because I wanted to fuck his fat ass up. And I'm like, damn, I really got to use his fucking address right now. So my first check was supposed to come to his spot. As we're working and training, before I get my check, you get your check, you're supposed to get on a Friday, but because it's paper, it's supposed to come like the next Wednesday or something. In the midst of that training week, there's some cool people, but one person wasn't so cool. His name was Xavier. Xavier was a New York motherfucker. He was like my size, but he was smaller. I weigh 180. At the time, I was probably like 160 because I have like this condition with smoking weed that makes me lose weight. I didn't know it at the time, but I was in the gym, so I didn't really notice that I was losing weight. He was smaller than me. He was probably like 140 pounds, about 5'7", big beard, light skin. And during that week, he would just like to follow me and shit. He didn't have no car, nothing. So them type of people like to use you for a ride and all this other stuff. The good thing about him was He stayed 30 seconds down the street from the job, so I really didn't mind giving him a ride. But then he starts abusing stuff like that, and then I don't like being late for my break and lunches because this is actually a job that was kind of good. Plus, I had a place waiting on me, Westmore Lofts. It's a student living area, and I lied like I was a student. So my rent was coming up for this apartment. It's not apartment. It's more like a dorm. But my rent was coming up before I moved in, so I needed my checks. And I couldn't just be late for breaks and lunches and stuff. But he would always, hey, man, let's go do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. So I was late a few times, and they're getting on us a few times and stuff like that. So, and everybody knew that he was just, like, latching on to people. So when my first check came around, everybody got their check. There's people whose address is way further than the one I was using that got their check. I never got my check. And I had to pay $800 in rent that first week. Well, the second week. I never got mine. And every week we get paid like $400. So I need 2 checks. And the way it worked was, the way my pay period worked was, my second check was going to be the due date for my rent. But because I never got my check that was mailed to Vic's crib, I'm late. And Vic claims it never came. I don't fucking believe him. I think he tried to cash my check. So, and I'm sticking to that shit. So I had to do a stop check, which they reissue a check, but this time it's going to be direct deposit. So now I'm behind on rent. Shout out to my boy Cam because he spotted me like $400, and I had $400 from my second check. You know, technically my first check. Well, it's technically my second, but basically my first. Anyway, it's confusing. Cam spotted me half of it. He was like, hey, bro, I need this next week. Like, you know, if I ain't pay him back next week, I'm putting my boy in a bind. So I pay that. I'm about to move into my shit. And like the next week or whatever. And I get both of those. But because of that, my rent is behind. The problem was I had to ask Cam for money because they don't take partial rent. I was just going to put $400 on it one week and put $400 on it the next week, but they don't accept it. And every late fee is like another $20. And then when it hits like the third or fourth day, they tack on $50 and then another $50. So I was paying, it's $800 worth of rent every month, but I was paying like $1,000 every month for 3 months just to play catch up. I was playing catch up for 12 weeks straight because one person would never give me my check, my very first check. So I was fucked. I never had money. I could never pocket any of my fucking checks. So, and plus Westmore Law's fucking dirty, bro. They got goddamn flies and like a lot of them bitches. You would have thought that you was in a hornet's nest full of flies when you walk to your room and gnats. That's because the garbage, this is an indoor hallway. So the garbage is like, they got a garbage chute. And there's a bunch of trash that people lay down that's there for weeks. And man, this is terrible. Maggots and all that shit. But I got a place to stay, so it is what it is. I had a plug next to me. I had $40 to get a 3.5, so I was cool with that. And I was smoking inside my room, so at least I had a place to stay. Anyway, so that was my job at Home Depot. I'll go into the Xavier story a little bit. No, you know what? I actually won't. I'll save that story for you. There's a lot that happened with Home Depot, but I'll fast forward and say that I did have to get another job. I kept that job from August to December, like right before Christmas. I got another job at Home Depot, but the warehouse in like January. But them niggas laid me off after about a week, and they didn't tell me why. But I'll tell y'all the reason for that. The next time, if y'all want to remind me, let me know, because I'm going to tell y'all the story about the girl I was dating. And also I'm going to tell you a story about Xavier, because those are two wild stories for me. But I quit all those jobs. Chipotle, Walmart, Home Depot. I quit all them. And I got laid off my last Home Depot job. And I quit my next job that was actually pretty good too. So we'll get into that another time. If that's, the dramatic stuff ain't really happened just yet. But the next time, I promise I got you. Keep in tune, all that good stuff. Appreciate you for watching. It's your boy Dee Brown, a.k.a. Bruce D. Roy, Mississippi in the house. All that good stuff. Check out my next album. I got Failures and Success Part 2 coming up. You can check out the first one on Dat Piff. I'll be honest, I love that mixtape, but I wasn't that great of a rapper. But it's very personal because it had my family situation after me getting cut off in like 2011. So I'm gonna make a part 2 to failures and success, because it does look like my success is coming pretty soon, with like doing a movie with Snoop and meeting Jacquees and being in his music videos and all these different famous people, Mike Epps and Tika Sumpter, all that. So I'll make another failures and success. I'm going to make a Miss a Pimpin' album as well. When I get done with those, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, next time we're going to talk about either Xavier and his situation, or me with him, the guy that I worked with at the time, and a girl named, I don't know if I want to put her name out there. So I'll tell you about that story too, because I dated her. Puerto Rican. She says she's Colombian, Dominican, and black, or some shit like that. So Spanish and black. Anyway, man, deuces. I hope you